side, winner of 3 national championships, has another powerhouse this year. Meanwhile, Georgia, with 5 NCAA titles, has Bart and Bite. The Gym Dogs are undefeated and have one of the top all-around stars in the sport in senior Kristi Lichey. Lichey is a threat to go 9.95 in all 4 apparatus and may even pop a 10 when you're out getting some popcorn. Alabama counters with the marvelously talented Andree Pickens. Pickens, the reigning SEC Gymnast of the Year, can fly. On a scale of 1 to 10, she is a... well, you get the picture. Don't be surprised if Andrea catapults Bama to victory. Georgia, Alabama, hugs and kisses all around tonight? Don't count on it. We welcome you to Coleman Coliseum here in Tuscaloosa, Alabama for Southeastern Conference Gymnastics. Tonight, the bitter rivalry continues between Georgia and Alabama. We're expecting a crowd of over 10,000 to see 2 of the nation's best. The latest coaches poll is out. UCLA #1, followed closely by Bama and Georgia. Hi, everybody. I'm Chris Marlowe. Welcome to one of the great rivalries in college sports. To measure the impact of this baby, you have to think about Duke, North Carolina in basketball, Ohio State, Michigan in football, and the Clintons versus the Republicans anytime. Bottom line, these 2 teams hate each other's guts. Happy to have working with me a woman who knew rivalries when she was on the USA national team, the Romanians, the Russians, Kathy Johnson-Clark. How good is this rivalry?
Well, first of all, Chris, those rivalries were nothing like this. In what is normally a very genteel sport, this is much more like a football game. I think some of the reasons are very, very obvious for the rivalry. The close proximity. They're both in the Southeast. They came into national prominence about the same time, but I think what is the key thing here is this rivalry starts at the top with the 2 head coaches. Both teams are led by 2 very strong, driven, and successful women. Suzanne Yocklin at Georgia and Sarah Patterson at Alabama. And there's a personal thing going there, which I think permeates the entire rivalry and makes it very, very strong, but I think fun. They know they're good for the sport of gymnastics, and they're helping out.
Georgia is the only undefeated team left in the country. The Gym Dogs are 10-0. Head coach Suzanne Yocklin says, hey, we haven't played up to potential yet. We haven't scratched the surface.
She is something else. She's very, very colorful, loves to win more than anybody else I've ever seen, and she is never completely satisfied. She said she still has her boots on all the time, climbing the mountain of success, and she expects no less from her gymnasts. They're led by Kristi Lichey, a junior gymnast who's one of the top all-arounders in the country, and most important, I think it's going to be key here, she is so ultra-consistent on the balance beam, which is a very important event for Georgia to hit.
Meanwhile, Alabama has its best and deepest team ever, so says head coach Sarah Patterson.
It's interesting that teams are different in that Georgia really likes to recruit very strong, powerful athletes so they can throw the big, hot tricks. And Alabama loves to do pretty solid gymnastics, still with some big tricks there. So on paper, Alabama looks like they've got the edge here. They're second in the ranking right now. Georgia is 4th. But it's hard to say. I've gone back and forth watching workouts. They're led by Andree Pickens, very, very strong, powerful gymnast, and also very consistent. So I think it's going to be an exciting competition from start to finish.
Early on in the Super 6, these 2 teams tied. One thing we will find out tonight, who has the best gymnastics team in the Southeastern Conference? Big crowd, Georgia, Alabama, 2 teams that don't like each other very much. Stay with us. The first rotation is coming up. Of SEC Gymnastics is brought to you by Kia Motors. It's about time everyone had a well-made car. Welcome back to the Coleman Coliseum here in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. The best in Southeastern Conference Gymnastics tonight. The Georgia Gym Dogs and the Alabama Crimson Tide. We are underway. We're going to go now to Georgia on bars, and here she is, Kristi Lichey, one of the great performers in the country. Lichey is a senior from Cincinnati, Ohio.
And on this event, Kristi's consistency is up from last year. And the coaches said they think it's because of the depth they now have. It's pushing the upperclassmen to hold their place in the lineup. The new kids came on the block and doing hot tricks. Now the older ones want to keep up with them.
Scores so far, Diaz and Bird, 2 good scores. So Georgia off to a fine start.
Watch for all of the moves that either pirouette or turn, but they're on top of the bar. Also look for smoothness in the swing. This should be a double layout dismount. Kind of piped into it and then opened up. She actually usually does a 1.5 pirouette, and I'm not sure exactly where she made the change in the routine.
Kristi Lichey not feeling well last week. Apparently much better tonight. All right, let's move to the vault. So far, Holderfer, Scarborough, and Tomasek with good scores. This is Jeana Rice. And Rice, a pretty good vault.
Very nice vault. That's worth a 10.0 in the code of points, and that's crucial in competition now. That the gymnasts come up with these more difficult vaults that start from a 10.0. This is a 1.5 twisting Yurchenko vault. She brought her feet underneath her a little bit too much. She could have gone for a little bit more distance, which would have given her a better landing.
There is Sarah Patterson. She had talked this week about how she was upgrading the difficulty in vault routine. She now has 4 or 5 10.0 level vaults.
It was definitely their weakness at Nationals last year.
Set now for Marline Stevens. She's a 5'4" freshman from Houston. Both Georgia and Alabama with outstanding recruiting classes.
Nationwide, everyone did great recruiting freshmen. Everybody's touting hot freshman class, and they're competing them. Suzanne at Georgia, Suzanne Yacklin, really forces these gymnasts to earn their spot in the lineup. And especially the freshmen, they really have to get in and train properly to get into the lineup.
Kristi Lichey got a 9.825 for her work on bars. Jeana Rice, 9.825. She had a large step on her vault.
Nice height on the release move. Notice when the gymnasts work bars, you have some gymnasts who really power their way through the uneven bars. Some work with a little more finesse and swing. Some a combination of both. She's very powerful on the uneven bars. Nice high tuck double back. A little close, it seemed, into the bar. But nice height, good tight twist. But from this angle, it really looked like she was going to touch the bar a little bit.
Sarah Patterson told me that Marline Stevens has been cooking the last 3 weeks. And now, another terrific vault for Alabama.
A very, very good landing. Could have been a little cleaner in the air, but the landing is so important. It's the last thing the judges see.
That's Kristin Sterner. Sterner, a sophomore from Ionia, Michigan. So both teams hitting in rotation 1. Crowd comes alive. Sterner got a 9.9. Terrific landing for her. And now another talented freshman, Cory Fritzinger.
One of the most talented freshmen coming in this year. Had a terrific opening competition at the Super 6 Challenge, placing second in the all-around. She was an elite gymnast. Competed at the USA Championships. Competed in several very high-profile international events for the United States. So she has a lot of experience coming in.
And she loves the rock. The professional wrestler, so she knows how to perform.
Another thing she loves is pressure, and that will serve her well. Says the more, the better. She likes the intensity.
She won the all-around last week against Michigan. Of course, Georgia squeezing that meet out when Michigan fell 3 times on beam in the last rotation. Wow.
She has a nice release move right here to open up the set, a reverse hex. And probably the best part of the routine are her eagle giants that she'll work into right here. Has a little more difficulty. Should be a nice dismount. Pretty good form throughout. There's those eagle giants again. She's going to go into a double front. Now half twist right here.
Whoa!
Very nice. That was the best part of the routine.
How about that? Suzanne Yacklin, 5 national championships in her 18th year. And she has to be happy with the routine of her prize freshman, Cory Fritzinger. Here we go. Andree Pickens loosening up for Alabama, the junior from Houston.
And these collegiate gymnasts love competing at home. Look at those scores. They're doing very, very well over on the vault.
So Pickens can let it all hang out. They have 5 solid scores. Remember, you keep 5 of 6.
Nice vault in the air. Unfortunately, a pretty big step on the landing, and that's just an obvious deduction that the judges will take. Valued from a 10-0. Very explosive. Nice position in the air, almost completely stretched, but that big step cost her a little. They still should be able to drop the 9.75. She would probably score higher than that.
Cory Fritzinger for Georgia got a 9.925. And now we go to Kathleen Shrieves. Shrieves, a senior from Dayton, Maryland.
She has an exciting routine if she does it as planned. 3 back-to-back release moves in a row.
Yeah, she is a big scorer. They count on her to get a 9.5 or above, a 9.95 or above.
I like her coach's description. Said she is a scrapper, one who will dig deep and do whatever it takes to get the job done.
Alabama's Andree Pickens got a 9.85. That big step costing her.
Here comes the combination. Full over the bar, right into a reverse hack. And a third release, back to the low bar. Losing a few tenths of a point on feet. Really got to try to keep those feet tight together and pointed toes. But she's got nice big skills and a big dismount. You can tell we're getting more into the season. They're sticking more of these landings. First meet of the season, we saw a few steps on landings. We're seeing more and more sticks. Full twisting double back right there, and she loves that landing. I thought she hyperextended her knee, but nope. It's just relishing in the landing.
So that is the end of rotation number 1. Both Alabama and Georgia hitting. We'll come back. We'll give you the scores. We'll continue from Tuscaloosa after this.